So it's normal nowadays to, be living in a world that tends to beat you down, tends to make you feel less than, tends to make you feel inadequate. And it's just the way that it is. We're living in a world that, all the love has been waxed cold. And as time goes by, it's just gonna keep on decreasing. So one thing that really will help you out in these days is confidence. And I'm not talking about, being a prideful person looking down on others. No, I'm talking about you feeling good within, proud of the person you've become and are becoming. Because if you have a very low self-esteem, you're gonna feel like you're not worthy to grow in this life. You're gonna feel like you need to stay down. And that's not the way that we should be, looking at ourselves or, be feeling. Growing up in, in the school system, having to, deal with bullies on a day-to-day basis. People that would say they were my friends, but at the same time always would, say certain things to, try to put me down, make me feel less than. So, as I got older, I lacked confidence. So once I stepped out of, the school system, once I graduated and, went into the workforce, I struggled a lot with confidence at first. That's why I believe I stayed, at certain jobs that, paid me, allowed me to pay my bills, but at the same time wasn't really helping me, grow. I would feel, even if it was subconsciously, inadequate enough to, to leave those jobs, to find something, better. And it took me down, a dark path. It took me on a path to where I basically, really didn't, I really didn't care about things the way that I should. I didn't care about life the way that I should. I didn't care about my relationship with my wife the way that I should. The relationship with my first daughter at the time the way that I should. So, I would work, I would end up losing a job, getting another one, quitting a job, getting another one. This was around the time where, getting a job was pretty easy to come across. And I would just be living reckless. I would be doing, breaking the law. I would be breaking the law a lot, which would get me into a lot of trouble, put me in a spot that I pray that I never go back into, and I don't want to look back. It was some dark times. It was some dark times, and so getting in trouble and almost losing everything, my relationships, the things I was able to acquire in that short amount of time. And if something after something, the switch flipped. I flipped the switch, and I started really gaining consciousness again, and just seeing and recognizing that I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose myself the way that I was. And I was still at that level of confidence that wasn't where it needed to be. So I started little by little being more responsible. I started taking care of the trouble that I had caused, all the fines that came with it, all the classes that came with it, working at the same time, being there for my wife, my children, finishing all those legal matters, and really wanting to to do better. So I ended up working a whole lot more. So I was handling the business that was given to me, that I knew that I had to do. I was definitely going the extra mile in my life, and that right there gave me a level of confidence that I never experienced before. And when you do gain a level of confidence like that, you have to really make sure that you stay in communication with God, that you pray to remain humble, pray to remain knowledgeable, and building that confidence just turned me into a better husband, turned me into a better father for my children. It made things so much peaceful at home. Something that growing up as a child, I never really had at home. I had amazing parents, but they obviously didn't have this knowledge that we have now. So they didn't understand certain things. So their relationship was always there was always tension, because they just couldn't understand certain things. And they're still together. They're still together, and because of who God has allowed me to become, and I'm able to drop certain gems to them, you can see a difference. And so the way that my household with my wife is ran is very different from when I was growing up. And a lot of that has to do with confidence, because I'm not sweating my wife with with jealousy or with thoughts of infidelity or things like that. And it's because like I've learned to become very confident in myself, that it has allowed me to make certain decisions that has set us up in a spot to where, even when things like, for example, how the economy is right now, even when things start going downhill, economically wise, there's still always a way, and we still have time to strategize and to think clearly. We're not like stressed out to the point where it starts causing tension or fights. And that's something that any human being wants in a potential husband or wife, is confidence. Because when you have that confidence, you don't allow people to walk all over you. Yeah, there's certain things that are not worth a reaction. You just brush it off, right? But then that confidence is very beneficial for when it's time to protect what you need to protect. So yeah, you're a peaceful person, but at the same time, you're not gonna allow anybody to threaten your family or yourself. So you start feeling good. You start feeling pumped, getting some push-ups in, start getting some reps in, start doing some cardio. You want to look good for your significant other. You want to feel good. You want to be good. You want to be strong. You're energized. You're not lethargic. So confidence will allow you to move forward, because a lack of confidence, that right there is gonna stunt your growth, even spiritually. There's gonna be certain things that you have to do, it's what God wants you to do, but because you lack that confidence, you're always going to be thinking in your head, all right, I got to be 100% perfect to finally start. I have to, be this certain type of way to, to get the ball rolling. And if that was the case, then you might as well just accept the fact that you're never going to start. And, don't ever let anybody decrease your confidence. People are going to say what they want to say. People are always going to have, a lot of people will come with negativity. And you have to be strong enough to discern, to know when somebody is coming with negativity. And you have to be strong enough to not let it affect you, because you know who you are. You know that you're working as hard as you can. You know that you're taking strides forward. You know that you know what you've been through and have overcome. And it's not nothing light. you know that if it wasn't because you worked towards, something, God wouldn't have put his hand to get you out of certain situations. So there's nobody in this world that can tell you who you are, that should make you feel bad for, for anything. Just keep talking to the man above. Keep feeding your spirit, and that alone will give you a certain level of confidence, will allow you to do more things because you're feeling good. Even if you're not feeling good, you got to try to think yourself happy. You have to try to see what it is that you have good in your life, and let that be your fuel. Because I get it. Some people don't have a significant other. Some people don't have children. So it could be sometimes hard to find, a reason, to keep going, to keep, fighting in this world. Just get closer to God. Get closer to God. Pray more. Pray a whole lot more, and you'll see how much how fueled you'll feel, how good you'll feel, and how confident you'll feel. So I hope this touches your mind. I hope this touches your heart, and I hope it makes you feel good. Righteously. I hope it makes you feel good, because I know just by looking around, people with their heads down and things like that, I know that's something that is lacking in these times. And I just want you to know that there's people out here that are like God, and God says, my thoughts about you are not of evil, but they are of peace. There's people that actually think that way. There's people that actually have love for people, have love for the human race, and are not constantly thinking negative things about people. I want to see people do good, that will clap for somebody's success, cheer somebody else on. So much love, my people. Peace and blessings.